Have you ever been gaming or working online classes and your internet service constantly gets interrupted? First Nations Fiber is about to ensure that just won't happen again. Get ready for high speed at a new level. Click on fnfiber.com and sign up today. First Nations Fiber, empowering people through connectivity.
Welcome, everybody, to the third season, episode 1 of the Beading Table with your host, Kahnawa'kehro stand-up in Kahnawa'kehro, and myself, Leith and Margaret, here in London, Ontario. Hello, everybody. Before we get started, I wanted to maybe just introduce and welcome the guests in studio with Takwenhawi. In guest studios are Merritt Cross from Kahnawa'kehro and Takwenhawi, Diabo from Kahnawa'kehro as well. Woo! Starting off season 3 with a bang, and we are so glad that these very distinguished and highly sought-after beadwork artists are in studio with us. So welcome, ladies. Takwenhawi. We've made it to year 3. Can you believe it? We're starting off our 3rd year.
Pretty crazy.
Pretty crazy. What we usually do for those who are maybe have been listening to us for the past 2 years, and for maybe those new listeners, we usually start our podcast off with just a general checkup to see like what we're doing, myself, Takwenhawi, and maybe checking with our guests. We try to have guests as much as possible, but sometimes that isn't always a workout. But that is not the case today. So with that being said, Takwenhawi, and we also call her Margaret, so you might know her as that also. How are things with you and the store? How is the store?
It is going good, I guess. I am still just trying to restock right now. The construction is all done. I was aiming to be open next Wednesday. I'm not 100% sure yet if that's going to happen, though. I'm just still waiting to bring more stock in. Like, I feel like there are so many people who want to get in there for beads. And I think it's going to be like a big feeding frenzy when we open up. So I want to make sure that there's enough stock in there. There's enough items, like, everything, so that we don't kind of get blown out in one day.
Yeah.
So it might be next week or it might be the following week. But yeah, we're there. We're almost there.
Awesome. That's so cool. For those who maybe haven't listened to the last podcast, Takwenhawi Stand Up owns a local business to Kahnawa'kehro. It's called Traditions. It sells various artworks and crafts and different homemade things from those artists within Kahnawa'kehro and some other surrounding areas. So her shop has been temporarily closed for the past couple months due to renovations, and we're excited to announce that hopefully in the next week and a half, maybe, that the store will be reopening. So that is awesome news.
Yes. And you, how's life out there?
I was just doing oh my God. Usually weekly I tape myself like a video journal on my way to the studio, to my studio in London, and I just talk about things that are going on because I don't necessarily like to write. And today I was just like, oh my God, it's already ending. It seems like, I know it's January and my exhibit is in May, but it feels like everything is funneling down towards the end. And I'm like,
I don't know, it's January, but it feels like it's already June.
I know, it's so crazy. And I feel like I even said it to myself on the video, like, I never thought I would be a failure. I'm not failing now, but I just felt like, it's gloomy here. It's really foggy. It's just like, bleh, the weather is no good. And it just brought me down, and I just let it bring me down for a minute. But because that's the reality, right? The reality is that when something's coming to an end, you feel like it's done. You don't know if you're going to meet the deadline. So yeah. So anyway, but everything else is great. Like things are going well. And so yeah, I had a little workshop last night at the Wampum Lodge here at Western. It's the Indigenous Center here at the University of Western Ontario. So I taught them how to do mini center seam moccasins, and they did a pair, and it was they attached it to the back of a pin so they could wear it as a pin. So yeah, it was nice. It was a nice time to get out there. And this one lady goes, "Oh my God, you're amazing and patient." I'm like, "No, I'm not patient at all. Like that's not that's not my characteristics." What are you gonna say?
Nothing. We'll just move on. So yeah,
we'll just move on for that controversy. We said we weren't going to get into controversial topics, but around here we sometimes do. So, but other than that's kind of how I'm just getting a jump start on things that are coming down to shoot. But other than that, that's all.
Very cute. And what about our guest? How is life for you, lady? They're both eyeing each other right now. Everyone's a little nervous, but once we get into it, you'll be all good. So how is beading life for you ladies?
Mine right now is low.
Yeah.
I just finished a class last night,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm working on a pair of moccasins that I started with that class, but they're just slowly coming along.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, slow and steady.
Are
That's
those,
good. The bird?
ones?
Yeah, with the bird on it. Yeah.
They
Yeah.
were so
very
nice.
nice.
I like the
Yeah.
little nest. Oh, it was so cute.
You know that little nest, I learned that something new that we learn all the time was when we went to the beadwork conference. They
Oh,
were
yeah.
talking about that little thing there, that little nest, and I had no idea that was a nest.
That's
I'm
what it was?
Okay, yeah. So when you see old work, you see the little nest.
Oh, the little.
The little
I
round
thought it
thing.
was just a flower.
Like a flower and design, but no, they were calling it a nest. I'm like, that's a nest.
Yeah.
And you look at it, and there's usually a bird.
Around it.
Oh,
Yeah.
Have
yeah.
there been eggs in it like yours? I don't know if I noticed
don't
that.
know. I don't know.
Yeah, now I'm going to have to look at all Grant's old stuff he posts.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
all right, where's this nest and eggs? Oh, that's cool. And you, Douglas?
I'm working on a pair of moccasins right now for a grad order, and
Ooh.
I haven't actually sewn any up in a while, so just doing that right now. And I was sewing. I took my sewing machine out yesterday, or when was it? We did 2 days ago.
2 days ago, yeah.
Yeah, and that seemed a lot funner.
It's so much faster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Instant gratification.
So, Leith, did you have questions for some of the guests? Did you
Yes, but I have one question for everybody in general, just so that we can
Alright.
kind of like get that growing and
Mhm.
moving and shaking and stuff like that. So my first question was to the group is, do you have a creative goal for 2024? A creative goal?
Short answer, no.
I'm saying
Okay, so
no, but I
Mary
feel
Croft
like
says
we
no.
should, right?
You think you should have a creative goal?
Yes.
Why do you say that?
Because it's like I feel like we're always beating the same things. Like a lot of people are doing grad orders, so they're always constantly beating the same stuff. So I
Yeah.
think it's nice to have, like you said, a goal, I guess, to
Mhm.
try to do something different than you never beat it before, or just to get creative. But I never have one either.
This year I do. I won't share what it is, like the idea. But I want to get back to doing my 3D pieces. So I've had one on the back burner for a while now. It's like a big 3D piece. And seeing Gagwit Denez at the Ganondagan like inspired me to like revisit it and like get on the ball with it.
Good.
It's not what she did, but it's like it is. Hers was a beautiful 3D piece, so that's what I want to do, get back to it. And it's one of those things that just turned out like I went to that Omer de Serre, the art store.
Correct.
And
yes, correct. Sorry.
correct, yes, you did. No. So I went there like maybe a month ago or a few weeks ago, and there was there's a like a piece that I have to incorporate into the piece that I'm thinking of doing, and I didn't know at the time where to even source it or what to like how to get it, like what I need it, and especially for the size that I needed it in. Anyway, so I went to Omer de Serre and I found this piece there. And it was already pre-cut to the exact shape and size that I needed. So I was like, oh my God, okay. So I ended up buying what it was that I needed, and I just put it aside so that when I'm ready, I can start and get this piece going. So I have a lot of crap to do though first. So
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. My daughter's just calling me, and okay, so I'm just gonna. Oh man, she's doing her registration.
Put her
for
on.
school.
But so that's exciting for you, right? It's something to look forward to.
Yeah.
That's what I mean, why it's a good idea to have something
Yeah.
in mind.
I
besides-
foresee it's like something that like I found this year. What I did was I started like a journal kind of thing, and not a journal like where I'm writing my thoughts and prayers and whatever in it. It's more of like a to-do journal, but really trying to stay on top of myself. So I'm trying to allot myself only a certain amount of time to get certain things finished. So it felt so great. Within 2 weeks, I was able to get 3 things off that list. And there's like 12 items on the list. So I was
Yeah.
like, oh my God, this is so great.
That's really good.
Yeah, I felt so good to do it.
And it's probably good to get on it right away when you have something special designed or your thoughts of something new, because if you don't, like years ago, there's so many things like items that you could bead, and you look at other people's outfits and stuff, and you're like, hey, you think it's something new? And then someone jumps on it.
Exactly.
Yes. You don't say nothing to nobody,
that's
but
happened
someone else.
a lot of times.
Yes. That's
Like,
what I'm afraid of.
Yeah.
I'm so scared that like
Well, no,
next
then you
year
don't
I'm
wanna
gonna
do
see
it.
it.
You
Yeah.
have to do it.
You have to do it.
Because somebody else is going to think that they're
Yeah.
going to do it, and you're like, well,
Yeah.
And then you
you're-
go to do it, and then they're like, you're copying me,
Yes.
but you're not. You already had.
Yeah.
Your- that
about
thought
that
was
like
there.
a few years ago. What do you mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Mhm.
That's kind of where I'm at. So I'm so afraid that I'm gonna end up seeing it somewhere, and it's gonna be like, oh, and I'm like, frick, like I wanted to do it, you know. So I am like I'm in the preps of it, and hopefully I can get it done within the year. That's my plan.
Yeah.
So, my goal. Leith, what about you?
My goal, I don't think I officially announced it. But I have been following this. Oh my goodness, sorry, I just was. Anyway, sorry, I just got really distracted by my daughter. She's applying for courses for college, and she's having a hard time. So now I'm trying to figure that out. Okay, sorry about that, but that's like life, right? I mean, I think that's really maybe one topic we can look into later on is like how real life kind of distracts your creative process. So like right now I'm trying to answer these questions and I'm like, oh my God, she's like, anyway. So maybe just to cut to the chase is I'm attending a couture embroidery course in the Netherlands in April. And
Oh
so
my
that's
God.
yeah, so
Wow.
that is one of my goals is to incorporate this new medium artwork kind of thing into some things that I do now, just or just maybe really explore, not necessarily incorporate it. I've been following this academy on Instagram for a while now, and I just figure, you know what, this is my not to say this is my year, because when you say that, then it all goes to shit. Literally all goes to shit. But just like taking chances and just doing things that maybe you never thought you had the opportunity to do, or never felt like maybe you had the confidence to do it. And I just said, you know what, hell with this. I am going to try to do this next venture. And as luck would have it, I was in contact with the lady there and it works out. So I'm going to spend 5 days in an intensive workshop doing different couture embroidery. Couture embroidery. I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to be learning because it's a 5-week 5-day international workshop. So it could be a variety of things, but just the exposure and the opportunity to go there and to see different things and to take me out of my element is like what my goal is. So, and I'm trying to like see what else I can do creatively and make that like my job. So that's what I'm doing.
Very cool. Very cool. You know what I would like to do? Like, kind of give our guests a little space to actually, we didn't even let them introduce themselves. We just dove right into
Sure.
everything.
You already know who we are.
So I will go around and just ask, like, who are you? Like in a quick, like, fast, who are you and what do you do? Come on. Yeah.
I'm Merit Cross. I've been asked many times to come on. And I've
There
denied
you
it.
go.
Mm-hmm.
So how did you start artwork, or where was that jumping off point? Were you always an artist at heart? Did you go to school to be an artist? Tell us a little about your history.
I think I was always an artist at heart. I started with beadwork, I guess, with my mother as a young child. And it was just little things, earrings, loom work, and never thought I would expand to where I'm at now. I went to school at the Institute of American Arts in Santa Fe, New Mexico. I did 2.5 years there. I went for jewelry. I came back home from there, and I kind of went from going to school for the jewelry and went into beadwork. I did jewelry for a few years while I was here, when I first got home, and then jumped into the beadwork, like I said, and that's when I was pregnant for my daughter. And my story goes is I started with a pair of moccasins that I bought from Montana and wanted to copy to make. Try to learn how, self-taught. I just went from there for about a good 15 years. All I did was like a Sioux style, which wasn't our style, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
And my thing was I was always afraid of heights to go with the raised beadwork.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And finally I said, okay. And I think, Leith, it was your your cradle board that we all did that
Oh,
I
yes.
really put a piece into it. Like I tried before, but it was a big fail. And then that one, I was so intimidated to put work on there because I felt like all you women that worked on it, they were the goats, greatest of all time. They were the top 10 bead workers, and that's who I knew that did beadwork. And my career started from there.
Oh, cool. Very, very cool. Was it scary to go to school, like to leave home and then go out there?
No, not at all. Not at 18 years old.
Oh, yeah.
You're fearless.
Yeah.
How did you hear about the school?
Ryan Rice
Oh,
went there, and Tawana Miller went there.
Yeah,
And yeah,
few
that's
people,
few people. I
Oh,
don't
yeah?
even know if she did. She might have, but I never heard her name. It was just Ryan and
Actually, when I was about
Tawana.
18, 19, I heard of that school too. I seen it in a native magazine, and I had looked it up too, and I wanted to go there so badly.
Mhm.
I wish that I had gone.
Yeah.
Probably would have came back with a nice looking husband.
Along with a great experience.
Ah, very nice. And what about you? Who are you? No.
God. I'm a
We've
repeat
had Diabo on
offender.
the show before.
Yes,
So.
Yeah.
I've been on the show before, so you all know.
So who are you? No.
I don't know how to answer that.
So we have
Wait.
Takwenhawi Diabo with us.
Well, who are you?
Who are you to be asking these
You know,
questions?
Well, I know who you are.
I
But...
know you too. No, my name is Takwenhawi Diabo, and I've already been on the show. I think it was
Last year, maybe?
one of your first. Was I your first guest?
You may have been.
I think so,
Yeah,
and
I
that
think you
was.
might have. I'm going to
yeah.
check
And
my
we were
book.
trying
Yeah.
to get. I was like, no, I get Merritt to go on, and Merritt said nope.
She was hiding from us for a few years now. No?
So yeah, I had to break the ice, and that was pretty nerve wracking. Still is.
But from when the last time you were here, you are a ribbon winning artist. You also won at Gananda.
Yeah, that was my first art show, I guess, or
Showing, yeah.
exhibit, or yeah, Margaret got on the ball with that, and I decided to follow her. So I was like, oh, if you're putting something in, I guess I'll put something in. But yeah, that was a good experience too. So I'm glad we did that.
It was fun. It was
Something
like,
different.
yeah, a fun experience to get out there and see everybody. And it was a good one. Hey, have you ever submitted, Merritt?
I've never submitted.
What
but
in the
my,
hell?
But my claim to fame is my purse that I've done.
Oh yes.
Yeah, it went to the Queen of Jordan.
Oh my
So that's
God.
my claim. One of my claim to fame. The other one is I do have a pair of moccasins in the McCord Museum that they
Oh.
bought off me years ago. They're baby moccasins.
Yeah. Oh my
Yeah.
God. Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, that's
But
pretty
I think
cool.
really the claim to fame for Merritt is that she has been instrumental in helping to teach hundreds of people within Kahnawa'kehro and
For
surrounding
real,
area
for
how
real.
to do raised beadwork. I mean, that is really that is a feat in itself.
She's
Congratulations.
definitely been an
Merritt.
inspiration to all beadworkers, for
Mhm.
real.
Yes, for sure.
Oh, chills.
And maybe her claim to fame is the bank calendar way back. Like, how long ago was that? Then that picture that I was referring to earlier.
I don't know because I've been in the bank calendar and not to toot my own horn, but
But
I've
maybe
been a
that was
calendar
one of
girl
your first ones.
Yeah,
And that was
yeah.
the first time I ever seen like such really good raised beadwork. I was
Wow,
amazed.
yeah.
Well, I was so amazed that I had to even like frame it.
Really?
Like, yeah, it was hanging on the wall at the cabin.
Do you want me to sign it?
You're gonna have to come up north.
Yeah.
But,
Come and sign it.
yeah, it's still there. And
Yeah.
that's what made me fall in love with I wanted to be able to be just like
We
that.
wanted to be you. No.
I couldn't even wrap my mind around how you did that. Like everything was
Mhm.
just so amazing in that picture. So you were goals. And that's why you're a goal.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Even like, well, you had just tagged me in that. You sent it to me, so it was 2013. I had to laugh because I was like, "Why the hell did I post this on her wall and not like private message?" Like maybe I was just
Because
on
back in the day when he
Facebook.
creeps
Yeah,
private message.
I guess.
We creeps.
So I had posted it right on her wall, asking her, "How do I attach the vamp and like the vamp thingy?" And I didn't even know what the hell I was doing, or
Yeah.
and I think I had made years ago I had made my very first moccasins. I did on my own though. And I don't even know where I go, like what I was looking at for reference or anything, and they were probably hideous. I
Probably
lost
the
them.
big calendar photo.
No, I was like, I was only 18 when I made them. So it was like
Yeah.
a long time ago. I don't even know what I did or how I did them. And that was the first and last time until I took your class.
Mhm.
Then after that, I started like going and doing my own stuff after that. And like with her help, with Addie's help, with Leith's help, like everybody, you know, kind of contributing and then
Yeah.
like doing my own thing.
But it came a long way though, to be honest. Like when I seen that picture too, I could just always imagine what it would feel like to even own a pair of moccasins like that, you know?
Yeah.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
that was partially too like, oh, I want to learn how to bead. I want to be able to have that. I could just imagine. It's like, you know, and before, like, I didn't ever see nobody wearing moccasins like that around. Nobody
Mhm.
really had beadwork like that.
Right. I always use reference to a survival school on their wall of the graduates. You look at them,
Mm.
and there might have been 1 or 2 people in the
Yeah.
whole graduation class that had any beadwork on at
Yeah.
all.
Yeah.
And you
Yeah.
are like,
Right.
for me, anyways, I was like, I wish that could be me. And what I did get for my graduation in Leith, you talk about embroidery. My whole ribbon skirt was
Oh,
embroidered.
yes.
Yeah. So it's all
Oh,
embroidered,
cool.
and people thought thought it was beadwork from far, but up close it's embroidered.
I actually just seen somebody on Instagram that embroidering it, and it looks like beadwork, and it
Mhm.
looks so good
Yeah,
because
yeah.
not everyone's gonna bead a skirt right away.
Yeah. Take some time.
And definitely don't try to sew ribbon on it. Goddamn.
Yeah, and then talk about embroidery. Embroidery was a big thing in this community too, because my
Yeah.
aunts, they were all embroiderers. I remember my aunt Lizzie; she did all her pillowcases were all embroidered.
Yeah, yeah.
All her dish towels were embroidered.
Yeah, my grandmother too.
Embroidery. Yeah.
Mhm.
Needle point or whatever, embroidery, all
Yeah.
that. Like my
Yeah.
grandmother used to do all that.
So Leith, you got to bring it back.
In couture.
We'll
nah.
see what
Yeah.
kind of yeah, we'll see what kind of embroidery is there. It's going to be interesting. So it'll be really interesting to see what we do. But yeah,
So yeah,
But there's
with when you flash forward to it, like I said, with pictures, and you flash forward now, and if anybody stops by at Survival School, take a look and take a peek and notice that.
Yeah.
And you're going to see how many people are wearing their gustoas, the men,
Yeah.
the
Mhm.
yokes, and I don't know, well, crowns ain't much really in, but the yokes, everything, they're just fully decked out.
Yeah.
what do you think about crowns? What do you think about crowns, Merritt? Just out
Mm,
of curiosity. Just say it. Just
I
show
don't
me
know.
them.
I don't have anything really against them. I mean, if you wear them, everyone's like, it's the queen.
Yeah.
But if you go back to
Oh, okay.
if you go back to looking at our beadwork, where our beadwork came from, and they do speak about how our women got a lot of our stuff from looking at the non-natives that came in, and
Yeah.
they copied their
Uh-huh.
work, and
Yeah.
so that would have been one of them. And
Mhm.
so I don't know, it's individual if you want to wear it or not, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They
Did you ever
are
make
they are
them?
beautiful. Yeah, I've made some.
Yeah.
That
they're
was
not my
actually
deal.
one of the first things that I made too, and I think I took a class with, is her name Pauline Law?
Pauline
Yeah.
Love. Yeah.
Oh,
She
yeah,
had done
yeah.
a class on that when I was a kid. Me, my mom, and my sisters had done it, and the flowers she taught us how to do, they actually looked like those bird nests. It was just like a big rope stitch all around. You keep going in a circle.
Yeah, yeah.
And
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
Yeah.
that's all it was.
Very cool. Very cool.
Super. And I was actually just thinking, after I had done that crown, I started getting into like trying to do different things. And I had made my niece a crown. And I guess one of my sister-in-law's friends had asked, oh, well, could you see if she could bead? This was my first grad order.
Oh,
If I
cool.
could bead on a ribbon shirt on the yoke, but it was just on the cotton
Yeah, yeah.
yoke. And I was
Uh-huh.
like, I don't fucking know what to do. Like, what the hell? I'm like, but I did it, and I would die right now if I would. I don't remember what the lady's name was, but it was for her daughter. And if I ever got to see that again, it would be a treasure to see that, because
Oh my
Well,
god.
could
I
just
think
imagine.
The next Facebook challenge should be to show your very first piece,
Pieces that
and
you
to
did.
see how far you've come.
That's a long way.
We all started someplace, though.
Yeah. Oh my god. Did I? No. I like I said for mine too. It was moccasins. I was so mad because I lost them in Allegheny. We were at a sing and I left them in the hotel room and I never saw them again. And I have absolutely no idea what they even look like. I don't remember them. They were probably ugly as hell, but I can't remember. And they barely stayed on. I remember, like, you know, when they're too big, you got to drag your foot so they don't like come off. Yeah, they were awful.
I had a pair that I beaded for somebody too, like a fully beaded pair, like a Sioux style too, and they lost them.
No, I think a lot of us started out there too, because those were some of the first ones that I started doing because it, in some ways, the construction of them is a lot easier than.
Oh my God, no.
Yeah.
No.
I'm still having a controversy over, do you sew it on the outside, do you sew it inside and flip it?
Oh, I used to hate that. I used to do it on the I used to flip it.
I did too, but also you can't get the Merit look on there again.
Yeah.
You know, with the fine stitches on the outside, like you're flipping it and oh my God, it's
and
just
everything
so good.
popped. Yeah.
And then I kind of thought, like, no offense to anybody if they sew it on the outside, but I mean, that still looks good. If you do it good, it looks good. But sometimes I find I would prefer to flip it and get the real look.
Yeah.
Fuck, I was going to say, like, it's cheating to sew it on the outside. You know, do whatever you want.
Yeah. But it was so scary, especially when you would do like the fully beat it and then you try to flip it and you're like.
You hear like crunch when
yes!
bead pops. How do you do it, Merit? Just
exactly the way you just did.
You're doing it, you're fucking sweating. Like, oh my God.
Beads crunch and crack and pray that when it came out that there was nothing broken or the strings were hanging out and I have to redo them.
I even remember like having a butter knife, the end like trying to poke it through and then walking around the house like, come on, just work.
Yeah, it was so scary. But like for me, I always used to make like any baby shower, I swear, like anyone that knew me back in the day, all got these little, and it was all flat stitch because I wasn't doing raised yet either. It was all flat and like trying to figure it out or whatever. But oh my God.
Oh my God, yeah, there's so many different things, right, that there were stages of your beadwork, of things that you tried, because when I was first on the show and you asked me, like, when did I start beading? Yeah, like how you said it, when you're younger, you try to do whatever. Then I totally forgot about all these other things that I had done, like when we were powwow dancing and Amanda, like, I beaded all her headband, ties for your braids, your like a medallion. I didn't even notice what it was called back then. Like a necklace and hangs and that was all flat work too. And I actually kind of missed that. That might be my next goal, Leith, is to make a powwow set, like a flat, you know?
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
And then maybe Amanda will get back into dancing.
Do it.
Yeah, maybe I'm gonna do it. It
Well,
sounds
I
like
wrote
fun.
everybody's goals down. Just out of curiosity, with the exception of Merit's. But Merit is going to do another class. You plan to do another class this year?
I am supposed to be doing another class. I should call. It's actually going to be held at the youth center. My daughter asked me to do it. And my plan this time is it will be 5 parents, mother or father.
Awesome.
And it will be one of their child's son or daughter. And they're going to collaborate on a pair of moccasins. And it's going to be like high school age, so they'll have a pair of moccasins to graduate with. So that'll be 5 less people to have to. It'll be the father and daughter, father and son, mother, son, vice versa. Yeah. And they're going to do one side each.
Oh my God.
That's going to be a little bit of a challenge there.
Oh, that'll be so nice though.
Yeah.
Well, they're all lucky then to get a class from you, because I did the cuff class with you. Remember, I was so freaking happy that I finally got into one of your classes, but I'd still like to do a moccasin class with you. That would be pretty cool.
I'm not sure if I'm going to do back-to-back class. I'm like, I don't know what to do here, because it is like with work and life, and to do back-to-back again. Because I used to always do back-to-back courses at the cultural center. Well, not always, but towards the past 5 years prior to the pandemic, I did like back-to-back class. So that was like 20 people I would do. Yeah, it's a lot. So with life and all. So, but I may, because cultural center called me and asked me if I would hold another class. There you go.
Oh my God. Yay! I'm going to have to freaking... Oh, how do they do it online now, the registration?
It's like winning the lottery. No,
I know.
You're like, come on.
Oh my God, forget it.
No more camping outside.
Yeah, right. Oh my God. Everyone would be out there.
Mm-hmm.
Then they'll be like, why are you taking the class? Don't you want to
Yeah.
do that? I'll be like, well, I don't do it like
To the
Margaret.
class, I don't care what anybody thinks.
I know. Well,
Okay,
it's
sign us
funny.
all up. No.
Yeah, put us all down. But it's funny because the
Do a
last
master's
one.
class.
Yeah,
Let's do
Oh
it.
my
We
God!
could do
Wow.
a master's class at the
Margaret's
store.
like, oh, what?
Select individuals. Ooh, that sounds good.
Hey, but seriously, we may learn new techniques
Yeah.
off
Yes,
each other.
I love that.
Yeah, because we do have different things that we do differently. So
Yeah.
the techniques are,
Mhm.
and yeah, that would probably be cool.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
like that. Like last time I did a class with you, there was the majority of people that were in there. We had like Lori Albany, Moon,
I was in that class.
myself.
No,
Well, no, I was
that
in
one.
multiple. Like
Oh, okay.
like I was in a whole bunch of them, and I was already making stuff. But it's nice to go. That's why it's nice to be
Mhm,
around. And like
mhm.
you said, like you're learning different things, even if you're already a bead worker. Like you're still learning from different people. And these women are all bead workers, and they do
Mhm.
beadwork
imagine
very well. You know,
probably
so
come out of there like, what?
Yeah,
so
a whole
many-
nother level.
Yeah,
Maybe a whole nother
level,
level.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, hey,
Yeah.
we don't even have to do a class. I'll name drop is the Golden Agers are going to be starting
Yeah.
back up on Mondays. Beadwork to go
Oh,
just
yeah,
sit there and
yeah,
And
relax.
have you
bead and
gone?
bullshit. No,
Or you're
bead and-
like, I'm there. So the whole town shows up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And then Mary can't do anything.
yeah. They'll be like, hey, how do I do this?
Like, no.
So I
That's
have
why
a
you have
question.
to have a master's class.
I have a quick question for you. As somebody who is an established bead worker, you are well known for your beadwork and for teaching and things like that. Do you get bombarded by people asking like how you do stuff?
I have, but pandemic happened and I stopped posting my stuff on Facebook.
I knew it.
Yeah.
I don't post nothing on Facebook either.
Yeah,
But
I have posted and I have like it just far and in between, and even projects I've done were far and in between. So people, I think, started going after you, Margaret,
they're
because
like,
you are
did America quit beading?
Yeah.
Where's all her stuff? But that's smart though, because once you start posting stuff, it's just like an invitation to get
Yeah.
like.
And
Yeah.
I start telling people in my class, even my last class, I had to laugh because I had to backtrack. And I'm like, wait a minute, nobody's bombarding me anymore. You can call me.
Yeah.
I wanted to call you.
I always encourage
Oh,
calling.
all right, what's your number?
Because I rather answer the phone call and be clear. Because
Yeah.
let's
Well, in
face
a
it, my
class,
writing
yes.
my writing's not the best all the time. I have to rewrite and
Well,
anyhow.
that's nice then that they can
Yeah,
call
I
you. They even
rather
call you
call.
up.
Yeah, I'll give them my phone number. I'll
Yeah.
say, call me up and let me describe it to you in detail to make sure I'm not leaving anything out.
Yeah.
When you're giving a class, has there ever been a time where you were stumped and you didn't know how to like fix something, or has anything ever been like, wait, I don't really know the best way to do that? Like in construction.
I think, you know what? I think in construction wise is the size of moccasins.
Yeah.
Because my patterns do have sizes on them. But then when you give it to the person who, let's say, has a size 7 foot and it says size 7 on my pattern, it doesn't fit them.
Yeah.
So what
But you think it's them, like, you're not a 7.
Like, stop
Is it
lying.
them or is it you? No,
Right.
no, like,
Put
you're
your foot
lying.
on
Your foot
my
is
right
8.5, so stop saying it's a 7. No.
No, but I have a perfect example for that. So I gave a class, moccasin class, I don't know, a few years ago. I gave them all the exact same pattern and they all did them up. And I took a picture. I think I even I posted on my thing saying this exact same thing that we're talking about, that when you sew it up, depending on your seam allowance, what people are doing, the leather, how stretchy it is, if it stretches or not, whatever, all of them had different sizes. I gave them, say, like it was an 8 or something like that. Some of them could fit a 10. They were like putting their foot in there. And I was like, okay, like what the hell? So it doesn't match up. Like I always tell people, you have to try it. You have to size it, because it's not guaranteed that pattern says an 8, that it's going to be an 8. You always have to like adjust and do whatever. And it's crazy how much it changes like that, you know?
That's exactly what I told them last night, because I recapped on the whole 10 week course. And I told them, I said, you have to sew it up, try it on the person. I said, and you're never going to be confident with those patterns ever. I thought I had it, but no, everyone tries it on. It's all different.
Yeah. And they always change.
Yeah, it always changes. It's oddly because you buy a shoe in the store in a size 7 and you fit it, or you size 9, yeah, you fit it.
Yeah.
But the thing is, too, is that people have to remember that it's made by a human. Shoes in the store are made by machines usually. And so when they're cut out, the dye is cut out to a certain size and they cut it out of the fabric. They don't trace it onto the fabric and then cut it out. Some people cut outside of the pen mark. Some people cut inside of the pen mark. And so people have to be aware of that part because it is the same, but how you cut it really makes a difference because you could be adding like 1/8 of an inch.
Yeah, and
if you don't cut it properly,
it makes a big difference. Those little tiny things.
Yeah.
So you also take in consideration, like I said last night, was that those of us who use glue, Alien's glue, every time I use it, once everything sets and dries, I will place my pattern back over because the leather will stretch.
Yeah, because you have to move it, and you're opening it up. True. And then we were just talking about that, like different leathers and like consistencies and, like how...
Different techniques with different leather.
Yeah.
Because you could do certain things with a smoked hide that you can't do with a commercial deer hide. So it's all messed up. It really goddamn confused me.
Yeah, and it's crazy though how things how people we're all sitting here and we've all done moccasins a million times or something like that. So it's kind of like you see over the span of your own growth how things change. Where I used to give classes and then just give them one pattern and okay, well we'll just do from there. And then I started realizing wait, I got to change my markings too though now, and I got to do these kind of things because they're not going to fit the same order, all of these things. So now the way I used to teach from my first class, starting to teach to now, totally different because I've evolved and I've learned so many different new techniques where I was like, oh shit, it doesn't work that way anymore. One vamp's not going to work for everybody, or, they all vary still. So, and even that, I remember I had your patterns and I think I used your patterns forever because I was so afraid and I didn't know how to change it. I didn't realize that you can adjust it, you can do certain. I thought it was there was you had some kind of special mask that you did to get that, so it's that too. I try to encourage in my classes, take what I'm giving you, but change it. It doesn't have to stay this way. If you don't like the shape, if you don't like the length, you can do what you want. I'm just pulling this out of my ass. I'm just figuring it out as I go too. So it's not set in stone, But yeah, it's funny how it all evolves and changes all the time. So weird.
But that's when you're teaching somebody, I guess you have to tell them to, you can't be scared to mess around with patterns. That's what you have to do. So you don't have to ask us every time. As you trial and error, you tried it, you know what works, what doesn't work.
Yeah.
And
take
that's
notes.
how we all learned.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the questions where you asked if I was getting bombarded with questions. And I did get a phone call one day from somebody asking me, how do I, and I know I taught them, but I feel bad because I think I might have turned her off because I want her to try it first.
Yeah.
If you try it, you learn it, and you know what you're doing to manipulate those patterns to bigger size, smaller size. There's a wide foot, there's a skinny foot.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I never heard back from her. No, she was successful. And I was like, I don't know if I sounded too rude on the phone, but I hope not.
But it isn't.
Well, people have to take control, right? People have to be accountable to themselves. And if one little harsh word, or not even a harsh word, maybe interpreting what somebody's saying.
Yeah, something
to make
else.
It appease you, because maybe she didn't want to do it on her own. Maybe she wanted you to do it, really give her a step by step.
Well, maybe people really want assurance to it. I need to know how you did it exactly.
Yeah. But I encourage that trial and error and learn on your own. You got to encourage that, because if not, you're going to be stuck at every step of the way. And
you're going to have to depend on someone
else. And you can, when they're really, actually, once you learn it, it's simple.
Yeah, and it is a threshold, I find, because like I said, for years, I was stuck with just, I have to use this pattern. I don't know why I would do this, or I don't know why I would have to change this or whatever, but the more I did it, that's how you find it out. It was and then the light bulb goes on, holy shit. Okay. Well, now, yeah, look, all I have to do is just adjust my pattern a little bit. Or that time we were sitting at her house, like trying to figure out notches because we were trying to change our puckers, and like it took us forever. We were sitting there like, what the F?
Actually, I remember when I first started, I think I might have told you I didn't mark it.
Oh, that's right. You just did random.
Crazy.
But then I was like kind of jealous of everybody, and I was like, well, I want to do it like that too. So I was asking her how do you do it then? Like, it seems like pretty simple.
And us, we were like, what the hell's wrong with you? Don't change it. Now we're like,
so
don't do it.
Right now I'm in the middle of, because I'm sewing those moccasins, and I did one side my old way and I didn't really care for it. And then I did the other side with the notches and I still didn't care for it. So now I'm like, I don't know, I'm going to make a whole nother pair. But let me ask you this, Merritt. So,
can I have your number?
No. Okay, so everybody does like the center. You give your how much do you give? 2 inches on the side?
I do 2.5 inches, but I just switched it up. I just switched it up recently with my past 2 or 3 pairs of moccasins, and even with the class I just did, I went 3 inches.
Get the hell! Oh, yes.
I went 3 inches.
Okay, now you're answering my question, because so with the 2, they were so big. I'm like, this is stupid, and I'm kind of like pushing it to the side and then going, and then you know what I mean. And I was like, this can't be the goddamn way that everyone's doing it, because like I don't like it. It's not working good for me. And we tried to add another pucker on, and
it was getting all crazy.
So confusing to add it when you're doing it with the
And it's so funny because like me and her are sitting there and we're literally like crossing, because now she's trying to do it and I'm trying to do it her way.
And I'm like, fuck, what are we doing?
So for like now, I don't use the puckers anymore. I don't use the thing. I do it her method. And now she's doing my method, the old way. But I will give a secret. Well, a secret. It's not really a secret, but how I do it, I find it just easier because then I don't have to measure shit. So I take the pattern, the foot pattern, I fold it in half like you would normally do. That gives you your half. And then I take the foot pattern, like the round part at the top, and then I fold it to the halfway.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then that's my mark.
Okay.
That's where I start my puckers.
The 2 inches or the 3 inches.
It turns out to be 3 inches.
3 inches.
Yeah, it's like 3.
I freaking go home. I'm doing the 3 inches. I'm going to do the 3-inch challenge now.
When I did the 3,
I challenge you all.
3-inch challenge.
It's really not that bad.
That sounded a little perverted.
I think they shut my mic.
And then what I did stop doing was I with this 3-inch one, I didn't close my puckers either.
See, I don't.
Yeah, I don't close them. I don't close mine either. I stopped doing that. So on her old pattern, the way it was is you would have 2 marks. So you would.
Yeah, was there 2 lines and a dot in the middle?
The dot is the closing.
Freaking dot was.
So, but we don't do it. We didn't do that anyway.
That was to close the pucker.
Oh, okay.
That was to close it up.
If
so
they were
have
too
1
big,
pucker, it would go to 2 puckers.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
So, like, say how you were feeling like your puckers were too big, that closure would make them smaller.
Sense.
Yeah.
But to be honest, I love your moccasins.
Yes, right.
Your puckers. I love them.
They're like the best. And she's always no, she's trying to change them.
Yeah,
well,
no.
She's trying to improve.
Yeah.
And whatever. But thank you for saying that.
I don't think you have to improve because they look great.
For a long time.
But you look at an old pair of moccasins. I think it's mother that has a pair.
Mm-hmm.
She showed me them.
We're talking about Howi's
mother. Yeah. They were from I don't know what year. Long time ago. And the Mohawk word for puckers, right? I think it's goody. Is that right, Leith?
I have no idea, but it sounds like it.
But,
interesting. I'm going to ask my mother for that.
Yeah. So they started all the way from almost way back of that halfway point. And they were little, teeny, tiny.
All the way up.
All the way around. Now that boggled my mind because you look at it and you're like, okay, how big do those moccasins have to be to get all that? But
yeah,
they
true.
weren't. They were a normal size. So what did they do there? As in, I've tried, where you...
There's no welt. Or no, was there a welt?
I don't think...
Is it like the Cree how they do it? It's like, Leith, I think I spoke to you about this before.
That's what I think.
It's a complete different way. They're not overlapping. The thread's not going back over. It's kind of like you're doing this. You go through the pucker, you pull it, and it like I don't
It
know.
slides. It's almost like the center seam.
It's like when you're doing shirts or whatever, and you get you're doing all
Gathers.
your gathers. It's done the same way like that. But okay, I can get that. I've done babies to try it, but now to sew that vamp onto that is
Yeah.
another challenge. And God,
I just sent you all. I'm just sending you all a photo I took when I was at the New York State Museum.
mm-hmm.
And so there's a pair of moccasins. It doesn't start all the way by like the top of the there's
Yeah.
the ding.
Yeah.
The top of the vamp, but it does. You can see
Do you think
that-
there's a welt on there though, or just
Oh,
the
yeah.
leather right to the vamp?
it's right to the vamp because there's no welt. You would see the
Shit,
welt
yeah,
in
you
between
can.
where that.
You see the
You would
stitch
see it
right in
there.
there, yeah. They sew
Yeah,
it right
you
onto
would
the
see
top
it.
of the pucker.
I have a question
Yeah.
for all of yous.
Okay.
I was just thinking about this morning. Who do you think came up with the marking system of the puckers? Like, was that you?
No, that was Janet's sister, Janet Delarone.
Okay.
Yeah, Janet brought it to our B group.
Yeah, on Mohawk Trail.
Oh, oh my God.
I know why we're drawing a blank.
Diane?
Diane.
No, it's not. Elaine.
Elaine.
Elaine. Oh my
Elaine.
God.
I got it.
Elaine.
It was me. I
Yeah.
said first.
So I always like to give credit where credit's due, and that came from Elaine. Where Elaine got it from, I have no idea. Who I guess taught her sister Janet, and Janet taught me.
Well, that's pretty cool too, because
Yeah.
I was wondering, everybody follows this basic kind of way to do it,
Mhm.
and I was wondering who started that or who figured it out. Like,
Even the way the moccasins are not turned inside out
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
That comes from Carla Delarone. That's where that started from. So when I was learning, she says, okay, wait, let's do this differently. We're all at her house. And she says, I now don't turn my moccasin and put the welt in there anymore. She says, instead of like, because then you have that seam, right? That hit
Yeah,
your
it
toes
hits- yeah.
inside or whatever.
we were just talking about that
Yeah.
also.
So that was Carla who said, this is how I do it now. And that's where we all went. And it was even Carla who taught us to do the beadwork from the back side to the front rather than putting the piece of paper on
Right,
top
on
and
the
beading
front.
on the top.
I feel like that
Yeah.
blows people's minds that we do that
Mhm.
because
Yeah,
no
it
one
does.
else does that.
Yeah.
Everyone
They put
puts
the
it on
paper
top.
and
Yeah.
they pull it
Yeah,
out.
yeah.
And when I did your cuff class too, that was the first time I was doing it like that too. I remember saying like, I can't do this. I can't do it from the back.
Yeah.
But yeah, it gets like. Shut up.
You shut up. Now I'm really good at it.
But yeah, like I have a class right now, and it's like your brain. It takes your brain like a
Mhm.
while to adjust to it because
Yeah.
like I was the same. Like I was just freehanding all kinds of shit, and for the most part, I still do except for flowers. Like
Yeah.
that's insane if anyone tries to do that. Like
Yeah.
But like other than that, I just freehand it. But to try to do it from the back in the beginning was like pretty hard. Like
But it's like, why though? Because regardless, if you flip it, one side's still going to be blindsided.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, It's-
Why?
right.
Yeah.
So
Because we like to make it harder.
yeah, right. Make it extra hard.
I was just asked that last night if I freehand, and I said I started out doing that. I would just draw my flower, do that, and then from there I would draw. I would just freehand it, but drawing it on.
Yeah.
But then I started drawing my whole pattern because I don't even know who I saw. Someone's like, why am I making this so much harder for myself? So here comes the photocopy machine, and you put on the photocopy machine and
I need one of
draw
those.
one side and then
Yeah.
have it flipped on the
Mirror it.
photocopy. Yeah, mirror image it.
Wow.
Yeah.
I
So-
need that. I still do the trace, flip it. Gotta redo it on the
Yeah.
other side so you could see it a little bit better.
I
That's
even
annoying.
bought from Jessica that light up board.
Yeah.
Like
Oh,
that's
those were
a
hot.
yeah.
Yeah,
I
That
use
is
a
like
hot one. Do you still use it?
I do.
I will here and there, like if I'm too lazy to go to a photocopy machine, but
yeah, I
I'll
use
still
mine all
use
the
it.
time.
Or if I'm too lazy to even dig it out, I'll put it on the window on the sunny.
Yeah,
Yeah.
me too. But I'm like,
Yeah.
come on, I got the damn thing. Like I paid money for it. Let's
Yeah,
use it.
yeah, use it.
I'll always remember another hot item that you introduced, Merritt, was the circle ruler with all the circles.
Oh yeah.
I remember
Yes.
in that class, Fawn came in and she was showing you some. She was beading. It was the vine, anyways, and you were like, "Oh no!" And you pulled out that ruler, and everybody would go buy that ruler, whatever
That
it's called.
template there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
for
And
the
then I
circle.
was like, "Oh my god, yeah, that's why it's so
nice and
Yes,
clean. It was
yeah.
like, it's like a life changer,
Yeah.
right?
It's
Yeah.
like, so if you don't have one of those, you better go freaking get one.
They're green. There's all kinds of little shapes on it.
Yeah. If you want to level
From
up
the
your
largest-
designs.
Largest circle to the smallest circle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I still have mine. I just found another one. There's two versions of it now.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh shit, I need
Oh,
them
there's
all.
that oval one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was using those. But I find like, and there's advantages and disadvantages to tracing and not tracing and all that. Like for me, I find, I don't know if it's because my brain is always like running on a million. Like if I draw something out, sometimes by the time I get to beating it, I don't like it anymore, or I've changed my idea or whatever. So I don't normally follow the pattern. So I'll end up like, that's why I just draw the flower on the back and then I wing it. But it takes longer.
I wish I could do that.
So you know what you do there? My trick is I draw a bunch of bumps on a paper. All clean ones. I'll measure them all out and everything. I'll go and photocopy that sheet and I'll just keep drawing.
Oh,
until-
it saves you the time
And
to have to
saves the
redo
time.
the...
Yeah, because then
Yeah.
next time you're doing moccasins, you pull out those sheets and you have a whole bunch of patterns already
Oh,
And
drawn.
you're already
yeah,
ready.
That's a good idea.
But see it here. So here's my other goddamn
Organization.
bullshit. No, sometimes I'm too lazy to goddamn draw it. So I just do it right on. So I'm
But
like,
you're an artist. You're a 2D artist. So
Yeah,
you look
I draw.
out there. I'm not a drawer. Everything's with templates.
And
Everything's
that bloody blows my mind because
It bloody blows my mind.
bloody because for people who are doing like that, like I don't even know how you're not an artist. Like you are an artist, but I don't get it because your shit is amazing. So
Yeah,
how the hell,
no.
like you can't, I don't know. It's just weird. Like, to me, I assume right away that everyone can draw if they can bead. You know what I mean?
No.
So it's like,
I'm not a drawer. My daughters can draw. My
Mhm.
husband can draw. I cannot draw for to save my life.
oh
I
my
can
God.
draw like those patterns, but there's a lot of erasing and
Yeah.
But if I did winged it like yours, like I did before, but I winged it, but I didn't because I would draw.
Yeah.
But then it drove me nuts because I wanted it symmetrical on the next side and then to get them all in place. And
I think for me, that's that, like my art, I think that's where I think for mine it differs is because when I do my art, I'm not one of those artists that can just like freaking envision it in my head and like, oh, and then put it on a paper. I can't.
Mhm.
I have to look at something, but when I do it, I can like make it almost identical onto a paper or something else. So I can, for me, that's like I think that's where when I put it onto and then I could do two vamps and they look almost the same.
Yeah.
It's because I can like recreate it that way. Like, because that's how I do my art, you know,
Yeah.
I have to see something to draw it. So, and I hate that. Well, not that I hate it, but it's like, you know, the artists that just like, they do all these amazing things. I'm like, how the hell did you do that? Like
We're those
without
artists, all right? No.
Just kidding. I'm like so jealous
That's
to
true.
see that.
That's true.
It's crazy though, like how people can just, you know, imagine something and then put it down on paper without them even seeing it. It's all in their brain. It's crazy.
But then again, they might go through the same process as we do, and we think that it's that easy for them.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. We
Yeah.
don't. Yeah.
Very true. Very true. So, Leith, let's get to our question. This is the
I'm just
real
like,
beading table, nah?
I'm like, Leith,
That's
are you
good.
there?
Like I just like this. Yeah, I'm here. I'm just listening to you guys talk. You know, it's nice to hear. Like that's kind of I think maybe one of the things that I appreciate more now because I feel like I'm kind of in a different headspace where I don't like mind listening to people talk. Whereas before, I always seemed like I had something I had to do, or I had to like think about like what am I going to be, who needs to be going where, and all those things. And yeah, like it's a time to more self-reflect and think about myself. And I don't mind just listening. Like that's cool. Like I'm just sitting here thinking like, oh, it's so nice. Like that they're sharing and that's what people want to hear because they don't have the opportunity to listen to this kind of discussion.
Yeah, I
So,
feel it's really
so
good
it's
with
good.
the four speakers here. There's
Yeah.
a lot of dialogue, a lot of
Yeah,
things
it's
getting
awesome.
talked
And
about.
this is a real beading table. Like, this is what life is really like when we're sitting around just shooting the shit and
but a
beading.
little bit worse. No,
Yeah.
just kidding.
Yeah, we're trying to keep it tamed now. Oh, good.
So, with that being said, my first question is these are questions from listeners that we had generated or they had generated for us about 2 weeks ago. And the first question is, what are your favorite type of beads, preferred finishes?
Oh.
So who would like to take that on first?
I like transparent, and sometimes I like the matte, the Mayuki 15s. But if I could have the choice, I really like the, what are they, the glass cut ones?
Charlotte.
Charlotte.
Yeah.
I effing love those. The
Yeah.
13s.
With that nice shine on
a
one
12
side.
or a 13, I would love every color.
So I would say I went through phases over the years. Started with Charlotte, Delicas. Well, no, actually, I think we started with regular seed beads. Along with Charlottes, I always knew Charlottes from a kid. My mother, it was like the expensive bead.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then it went to Delicas, and then it went to the Miyukis. And now I'm at a point now, if you look closely in the new beadwork that I did, I'm adding everything. I'm loving them all now. And it's because I'm like, I have so many beads, so many sizes, so many different types. I'm trying to add them all in.
But I love that too.
Yeah. Yeah. And
It's like
instead
not
of
specific to just one kind.
Mm-mm.
It gives it like texture.
Dimension,
and
yeah.
different- yeah, dimension.
Yeah. Dimension. For me, I we were joking. I think Jessica was on the show before, and she's like, "Stop being a bead snob." But I guess I am in a sense. I kind of really just like seed beads more than anything. I just like the shape of it, how it turns out, like, and how it sits. I guess for raised beadwork, that part, when you're doing flat, other things will work. Tohos work.
I
Like
love the colors of those beads. They have some of the most awesome colors.
Yes. So it's like you can't beat some of those, like the coloring on them, and like the finishes are really nice.
Yeah.
So for me, I incorporate Miyuki and the Tohos mostly. That's what I stick to right now. And then I'll add, like, I have like all multiple, like what you do, like, but I won't put it right into any of my raised stuff. I put it as the accent pieces a lot, like the centers or whatever, the side piece.
Yeah.
little
The
things.
rope,
Yeah.
the line.
Yeah. I used to have, I really, really liked before I had, they were like antique glass cut beads. They were my great grandmother's, and I was using them, but only for special things. Like my son has them on his graduation set from grade 6. And
But would those be Charlottes then or no?
no, these ones were, they were
Like,
almost
carved out
tubular.
like
The three cuts, tri cuts.
Okay.
Yeah, these ones, and they literally look like somebody just took like hacked them all up, and they all came out different. They were actually really hard to work with though, because some of them were long, like tubes,
And
some of them
sharp.
were,
Thread.
and they're sharp. So if you go to pull them tight, it rips your whole, the thread. So then you got to rethread and whatever. So, but the ones that I had were like, almost like a really midnight blue, and then they had like an iridescent shine on them. So they were so freaking nice. Like, but I ran out of them now. I put them on all different pieces. So
I did a pair on my daughter's graduation outfit, and it has those tri cuts on there. And if you were able to flip over the vamps there's about 1 million knots. I would knot it because I knew that if you pull too tight, it was going to break.
it snaps.
So I was knotting every second row or something. So if something was snapping, it wasn't all coming off.
Yeah, you're not losing everything. Yeah.
So Leith, what kind of bead do you like? No.
In terms of finishes, I think I just like opaque beads. I mean, I like the dimension of like matte beads and stuff like that, but I just like white, small beads, really. The smaller, the better.
Are you going to be getting any like that for traditions?
No.
Like the micros.
Yeah.
No, people can source that out themselves. I mean, Grant sometimes has them. Right now, I don't have any like to sell because I don't necessarily source them in bulk. Like when I buy them by like the 3 gram bag. So that's not that's not something that I can do because the what do you call that? The demand for it is so small, and I don't want to just be carrying a lot of those small beads in hopes that somebody wants to use them, because I think because it's so limited in terms of like the quantity, because they're very old, that I would prefer people like source it themselves so that they're buying what they need, not just to have a lot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't have a supplier, like a wholesale supplier for that. So people would have to just source them out. But all you gotta do is write micro or antique size beads, starting from like size 24 all the way up until size like 18, maybe 16, 17. And you could find some, or you could even ask Grant, because Grant comes across some. Like I have some from Grant, and he had some at the Seneca Museum for sale. So yeah,
I think I have a jar at the house, 2 of them. And they're no joke, man. I tried them and I was like, I don't have patience for this. I don't give a shit.
Well, maybe not super, super micro.
I think the ones I had were 18s or 20s.
If Mayuki made one size smaller, that would be awesome.
Yeah.
Right? Instead of a 15.
This smallest is 15.
Yeah.
Those are like actually pretty big 15s, right? Like if you look at the Charlottes, a 15, those are freaking
they're
tiny, tiny.
Yeah. Like, and not only that too, you have to also, you got to get like a 00 thread. And for me, what ended up happening and like totally cutting my whole micro bead career was my needles. I was so disgusted because the needles are the ones at the time that I found were expensive. I only found in the pack, there was 3 at the time.
Yeah, that's all they sell.
Yeah, and then you try to put them in and they snap immediately.
Yep.
So I was like, no, I'm done. Like, I ain't doing this shit. Like, yeah, because it just deters you from like wanting to continue. I was like, oh fuck, I ain't doing this anymore. Like, I think they were either 18s or 20s that I was using, and nah.
I have a strand. Is it a hank or is it a bag of beads? They're almost like a bugle bead, but they're super, super tiny. They look like pieces of not seeds, not even seeds, like pieces of hair.
Like lint.
and I'd have to dig them out to show you them, but I've always wanted to use them on something, but I never knew what to use them on.
Yeah.
Because they're so tiny.
Yeah, and then the hole, it's trying to get it through.
I've never come across them again.
Yeah.
I almost feel like I bought them off you, Leith, your mom, years ago.
Oh, it might be those small Miyuki ones. They're like white?
No, these are brown.
Maybe.
I'm going to have to go search them out and show you. They're different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get on out. Very cool. So, anything else? Any, I know we have more.
Lots of questions. Okay, so here's one. If for some reason we had to evacuate, right?
Oh, that's the same one I had.
Okay, so if for some reason you had to evacuate and you could only bring 3 things off your bead table, what would you grab?
Beads, threads, and needles. Because then for the rest of the stuff, I would hope to find something to use to bead on. I'm sure there'd be a piece of denim somewhere I'd find, or there'd be a nice sharp
rock you could cut your thread off, right? Or a piece of glass.
Or just cut it with my teeth.
Yeah. Me too.
And you're saying 3 things, but you didn't say it. How many tubes of beads we have to grab?
Yeah, handfuls now.
But you gotta say but you have to evacuate.
Oh,
you gotta think about that. You have to evacuate. You have 3 things. So we're getting really like sticker about it. So you said beads, thread, and needles. So beads and thread and needles is easy, right?
Yeah.
We think. So what kind of beads would you bring?
If you're going quick, it's whatever's on your tray. And you're going. Yeah, whatever.
And you're going.
So you make a stash of beads inside of that tray.
I always have about 10.
You put it in your suitcase at the door.
I got my to-go bag, or what is it? Your doomsday?
Doomsday peppers, your pepper.
You stash that in your car.
Yeah. Ready for anything.
You put it right under your bed, ready to go. And
you put that next to your life straws.
I was just thinking that too. Like, say if you had to start all over, if someone, let's say you were just in the middle of nowhere and they said, okay, make moccasins. Like, okay, so you have to start from scratch with your pattern and everything. You know what I mean? I think that'd be pretty cool. And I was wondering how many people be able to do it, because a lot of people have a hard time with patterns, like we were already talking about. So
yeah,
that would be interesting.
Challenge.
Yeah, let's all go on the island here. You're here. Okay, do it.
We'll go on the island out there, right? You know,
we've been there.
Goat Island?
Yeah. With the youth center?
We did Survivor out there. We survived one night and we're like, we're out of here. We had to paddle.
It'd be interesting if we did that, like, and we got somebody else, another beater, to get us the supply, like to get us our supplies, you know, and then we would do that. Rather than one of us.
Sounds like
supplies like to see. Sounds like a challenge.
It sounds like a good vacation. We get to go to an island.
Yeah. We get to an island.
As long as there's no snakes on there.
Yeah. There's probably snakes and poison ivy.
Oh, Christ. I'm out.
God. Margaret, don't go.
Yeah, I'm done. I'm out. I'm always covered in some kind of shit.
Okay. So Another question. What? Okay, so I want one tool. It says what tools, but we're just going to use one tools. What is the one tool a beater must have at all times besides
Pliers.
and that? Okay, so we're not going to say needles and we're not going to say thread. So something other than that. So we have pliers. Okay, Dagwa.
Well, I always have my pliers there too, but I also like my little bead scoop for cleanup.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. I don't really use pliers that much.
Well, no, I said any tool.
No, I know. So I'm just like trying to deduct what you guys said. Like, what else would I use though?
Merritt, have you or did any of you ever tried? Or they're like little flowers that they're like the rubber grips for pulling the needle.
Oh, yeah.
Those work pretty damn good instead of pliers. Also,
The nipple pasties.
yeah, they're like a little pink flower, and it just like it grips the hell out
There's
of it.
the
and
little
you
round ones. They're like a rubber pad.
Yeah, those were
that
really
would be
good
my
too.
tool. That's a must.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't. All right. So this is the stupidest thing ever. I know, and I should not do it. But say if I don't have like pliers, I don't normally use
right.
them.
Don't
Use your
use your
teeth.
damn
I
teeth.
goddamn use my teeth.
My teeth
That is horrible.
are crooked
I
because
know.
of that, pulling the needle.
I have
One
a
of my
special
front tooth-
tooth for it now.
Oh God!
No, don't do
round
that.
it out now.
I use one tooth. I'm like,
Frick, they're gonna think you're.
fuck, I'm gonna have no. It's gonna have like a big groove in it soon.
Probably does already. You don't even
Probably.
notice. But what tool? Do you have a tool that you would say you
Margaret,
need?
if I had one for you, is your little pink,
My little scooper.
your little pink
So
beadwork scooper thingy you use.
I used to use that one, and then you shamed me, all of yous. No,
I don't even know
Her
what.
little pink bathtub thing with a.
but
It looks like a flask, but
Oh, do you have those for
flask.
sale at the store?
I do,
They're
so-
also
Yeah.
for sale at Traditions.
Yeah.
When we open, when she
We're
opens,
bringing
you
them
can
back.
get yourself one.
we're starting to bring it back.
It
But
looks like a
now,
hot water bottle.
yeah,
Yes, that's right.
a
Hot
mini
water
one.
bottle.
So I used to use it years ago. My friend had given it to me. She was using it, and it was actually a handy tool. But now Leith found them again. But they actually have the padding in them.
Mhm.
They have the like the bead whatever mat in it. So it's 1,000 times better now because when I used to use it, it
It would
didn't have
slide
and
all over.
and it was like a bead soup. Everything was all in there and it was a pain in the ass. So now the mat is in there. It's so much better. Like it depends though. The only thing I would say is if you're using only a few colors, it's good.
Mm-hmm.
If you have a shitload of colors, you need a bigger mat. So that's the only whatever. But yeah, I don't know if I would love that. Like I could probably find something else, but I don't know.
Like anything else.
Yeah.
The
For
other
me,
thing I would say is that hole punch, that new one there with
What
the
a big
little
one. I
icon
still
on
don't
it.
have one, but I want one.
No,
I don't
Toronto
have one
Tap-
either.
You know what the little dial on there?
Yeah. And
Is
there's
that
like
for
multiple.
sewing the moccasins?
Yeah, that's a
I
game
have
changer.
that. What is that? Owl?
A chisel, no?
I have, yeah.
That's a real old school.
Vulva? Is that what you said?
A what?
A vulva? No.
That's what I thought
Did you say
said.
a
I'm like,
vulva?
what are you talking about?
I have
God. Too much
I
laughter
think we
over
all
there.
have one.
I don't use that, no. I don't use that when I'm beading. Thanks for asking.
Oh my god. Just
I won't
how he's
say
getting
anything
red
else.
over
I could
here.
go
No.
somewhere, but I'm not even going to bother.
Oh, Christ's sake. Our listeners are going to have a good laugh with this. This is the real crazy shit. No. Oh,
So
Christ.
this is a question for you, Merritt, specifically. And we talked a little bit about it earlier, but this is like just for you and what your thoughts are. It says, how does it feel to be the GOAT and inspire generations of beadwork?
Woo!
Dagwa. I said I knew exactly where that question came from. I had the answer. No, I forgot.
All this vulva talk. No.
Yeah.
Vulva.
That actually wasn't my question, but
It
I might have
wasn't?
said
It
that to
wasn't,
you
yeah.
before.
Okay.
Yeah, just to
Oh,
clarify.
All right. So I like to stay humble. I don't want
But
to
this
put
is a time you can toot your own horn. I mean, not to toot your horn, but the reality is that you are, and we already established that you have inspired many people. So what does it feel like? Like, does it feel good? Does it feel stressful?
No,
What-
and
how do you
when
feel?
people say it to me, you don't know how to take
Yeah.
compliments sometimes, and
Yeah.
you kind of feel like you want to just shrink into your shoulders and say, "Okay, thank you."
Yeah. And hard,
And
yeah.
so no, it feels good. I mean, I'll have my daughters at home. They'll be looking through her stuff, or somebody's going to mention my name, and they're going to point out like the legend. I'll use that one.
Aw.
Mhm. And it does feel good to know that I passed on an art form that was almost a dead art in this
Mhm.
community. Yeah. It and every time I see somebody's work and I see how well they've done and they've become like you guys who I bead with and right in front of me here, to see how well you guys do. You guys are exceptional bead workers. And I just know that I had a hand in helping you guys out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, in one way or another. But I also, at the same time, I always have to give credit where credit's due, because I also learned off of somebody else, because we beaded with a great group of women for many, many years.
Mhm.
We went almost, well, we still get together, but not as often anymore. But that was what,
Yep.
20 years straight we went?
20 plus, yeah.
20 plus
20.
years. Yep. I have to
Yep.
go with my youngest daughter, because I was pregnant with her when I first started. And that was in 1998 we started. And then we started
Yep.
meeting in
2000.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And all the women sitting at those tables helped me out. I'll have to give name drop to Robin Delarone,
Yep.
who she patiently sat with me and helped me out. Anytime I asked her, she welcomed me over
Mhm.
to learn techniques. Carla Delarone, Carla Wamet, who
Mhm.
also have give us her expertise. She was the mathematic person in there
Yeah.
teaching us. It was like, wait, how do you when you asked about how do you figure out, is it a mathematical thing
Yeah.
with the patterns?
Damn.
Well, she had that.
Yeah.
That was her skill.
And then, of course, our Gail mentor,
Mhm.
who we, all of us at that table, no matter what, have something from her, some
Mhm.
technique, some history that she's given us. So I'm giving those names, but there's also Carla, Cal, Allison, yourself. You brought stuff to the table. Your mother,
Mhm.
So it's that's where it all comes from.
Yep.
Yeah, and then our just trial and error with beadwork, and then, like I said, is bringing beadwork back to this community, and our community is on the map
Oh
when
yeah.
it
Yeah.
comes to beadwork. Yeah,
Yeah.
we're on the map.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's actually insane how
Mm-hmm.
like Kahnawa'kehro's beadwork has taken. I don't want to like toot our own horn, but like we're pretty famous for that, I think.
Yeah. We were famous before, and once again, we're famous for it again. Yeah.
Awesome. That's excellent answer. That's so nice and so touching. With that being said, what is your favorite thing to bead? Flowers, birds, straight lines, rope stitch? Doug, we'll start with you.
Geez, I never thought of that. I like to just, I don't even know how to answer this. I don't mind doing the rope stitch, and I really like doing, after you do the rope stitch, the lines,
Mm-hmm.
which
The
merit
flat line.
another thing. You couldn't just stop at one. She did 2, now she does 3. Me, I'm like, I'm going to merit this. I'm going to put 3 of them.
I think I went to 4. No.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Well, I like that. I like seeing the process of that. And once I'm finished, because that I find really completes it. And I remember when I first started beading, around that time, nobody was doing an extra line. I'm like, what were we thinking? Now it's a must. It's a must, right?
Yeah.
And even one's kind of weak. You kind of need 2 at the minimum, right?
Yeah, minimum.
So I like that.
Oh, I have
Merritt,
to.
what's your favorite
I
thing?
think I agree with Douglas with that one. And when I first start putting that line, I think it was my pair of moccasins that I did, and I only went from the vamp right at the corner, where it meets your knee, not the top part, but the bottom, and I went around and stopped there, but didn't. And I was like,
Yeah, you
not
did a
sure.
halfway mark.
Yeah, halfway
It's
mark.
crazy.
And I wasn't sure if I should do. I'm like, should I do it? And actually, who I got that from is my mother, who I'm pretty sure she might have picked up from my couple of old pieces or something. Because you see that on there.
Yeah, the border
yeah, you
plays a
see the
big
border. Yeah, it
impact on
pops
how
your
you're.
work.
Yes,
It
yes.
frames it. It frames it
Yeah.
with a beautiful frame.
I was looking at one of my old pieces that I made too, and I think it was a picture frame, and I only edged the bottom too because I was like, oh my god, that's so much extra work. And now look at it, like you're doing 3 lines, and you even said you went up to 4. Like, and I enjoy doing
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
For me, I would say I like doing the line. I hate the first line. I like the other lines when it starts to like kind of all come
the
together.
satisfaction of the second
Yeah.
line.
And that's what I do. Like in my recent stuff, I do 3. I think I did a few 4s because I like how it's the raised, and I find it just, I don't know what it is. It makes it like that valley kind of thing. Like it's like it creates this, I don't know what the hell it like draws your eye. It helps to draw your eye into the center of your.
It frames. It frames,
Yeah.
like they
Just
said.
more
Yeah.
complete.
Yeah. The other thing that I really do enjoy doing is the when you start raising the flower. That's like my
Mhm.
favorite part. Like when I'm doing that, I hate the centers. I'm not I just never know really what I'm doing or like what I want to do. But I like doing the petals once you start raising
The
it, because
actual raised beadwork.
the raised part, because then I like to play with the colors and see if like what is in my head is actually going to come out on what I'm
Mhm,
trying to do.
mhm.
Because you know how it goes.
I find
Sometimes it
that's the
doesn't.
most frustrating part.
I love it, me. I'm like, okay, here we go. I'm getting those colors on.
Like,
Like,
can't wait till this damn flower's done.
and me, I don't like love doing the outline of
No,
it.
nobody likes
No,
that.
Yeah.
no, I think that's the least favorite part.
Yeah, but I love once we start raising it, I'm like, oh my God, okay, here's the magic. Like it's starting now, you know,
Mhm,
and you see it. So I have one weird question. So do you outline everything, or do you do outline, then you pedal it, then do an outline, pedal it, or do you do all the outline?
I outline it all and then I'll fill in.
I do the same thing too because I don't want to go back to doing that shit. I
Yeah.
want to get it all done.
And do it. And I'm the opposite now. Like sometimes I will do all the outline, but I start, because I'm so excited to start that petal and the color, I jump to it and I do that.
That might be good though too because a few times I did the outline, I did the double line in the flower, and then I didn't like the color, and then I just threw the whole thing out.
Yeah. So people out there, Doug will throw stuff out. So dig in her garbage. No.
I've had people take stuff out of my garbage.
She will throw like moccasins, and I'm like, what the hell is wrong with you?
Not a whole one, like a little vamp or something.
Like fully beater lamb.
Yeah. So
Holy
anyway.
shit.
Yeah.
What the hell?
I'm like, what are you doing?
The first time I ever seen that, I think, was in high school. And one of the girls I went to school with, she would sit there and she was doodle drawing. And I was in awe because I guess I had the artist in me and I would watch her doodle drawing. And she'd throw it in the garbage. I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Put this in a portfolio or something. Hold on to that.
I
Yeah.
actually stopped doing that because everyone was yelling at me. And I have a little basket on my hutch and I throw them in there. So there's a few in there now.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is, if like a year from now and I go look at it and I'm like, there was nothing wrong with that at all. But at the time, it's definitely
wasn't your deal.
The heck?
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
So I saved them now.
All right, good.
Oh, I'm like, I did all this work so far. I'm going to make it work and use it.
Yeah, that's how
Tell
I
me, I'm
feel.
like, nobody's ever going to see it.
It'll never see the light of day. Yeah, me too. I'm like, nah. I'm like, I invested time in this, and we're gonna figure it out.
Mhm.
The only time I've had to abandon is if you're using a certain velveteen where you just ruin it. Like then you gotta throw it out.
Oh my God, yeah.
I struggle with that. I struggle with using outrageous colors of velveteen to match the colors. I can't do it. I can do
You
it.
can't
but
use
I
outrageous
struggle.
colors?
No.
I always
You look
find
at-
your colors are very. You use a lot
Vibrant.
of different colors.
It's the velveteen. I use a lot of different colors and beads. I get creative and I'm daring with them.
Oh,
And
but
sometimes it takes me like all I got to even put those beads onto that
Yeah.
velveteen. But I'm like, it's gonna work. It's gonna work.
that one pair you did, I think it was for somebody's grad. I really loved the color pop on there. It was like you did the edging in turquoise, right? Was there one you did it in turquoise, or was it
the
ro-
men's pair?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was awesome.
And those beads came from New York City, and apparently the store is closed. It was at Bead World, I guess.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, I think they're online though.
Are they?
They're not. I
Well-
think they're online, but they're no longer open. I think.
Well, out of curiosity, I don't know if you can get them or Jessica or someone can get these beads. I don't know what they're even called because they're different.
I'd like to try some different kind of beads.
They're a different color to them. And just recently, somebody had given us beads. There was beads that were donated, and they gave us some beadworkers some beads. And some of those beads were in there, and the color I even had that I was running out of these browns.
Oh, awesome.
And I looked here, there's a name on it, and the company, it's not a company, it's another bead store in California. And I'm like, do I order? Do I not order? And the only reason why I don't want to order is because I know the shipping is so darn expensive. It's hideous. But I found them again, and I don't know what they're called. I have no name.
Like, is there more beads? There's more beads.
Yeah, there's more beads out there.
I'm so limited to just knowing what we use in town. Like,
yeah.
Well, that's like Leith had gone. I forget where you were, in New Mexico maybe or somewhere, and she came home. She's like, I got you something. Like, she brought me it was a vial or a hank of like these. I find it so hard to find a true navy blue.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because they all go into purple or they go into whatever other color. They're not blue, you know. This color was the best color I had ever seen. Like, I was like, oh my God, I love them. But I only had one, two, and I was like, oh my God, what the hell am I going to use them with now? And I did use them, but I was just like, oh shit. Like, I think I only have like a sprinkle of them left. But I was like, oh shit, what am I going to do? Like, if I run out, that's it. Like, I ain't getting any more, you know.
Leith, is that the store in Santa Fe that you bought this bead for her from?
The bead weaver, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was.
I may have some.
Oh, shit.
Yeah,
the thing is that people can buy, like, people shouldn't be afraid of buying online. People shouldn't be afraid of trying to source beads from other places. And the Bead Weaver is an excellent store if you can go there. But if you can't, it's really good. Like, even they're online, and it's excellent. But the best thing to do is to just Google what it is you have or an idea of what you think the name is, and then it'll come up. And there are thousands of bead shops, thousands, little small mom and pop stores that will sell sometimes online too. So that's a good resource because that's where I get all of my beads that I don't use always. My Yuki, I use all kinds of stuff, and I just buy them online. I take a chance, you know, like
whatever you can find.
But if you have a lot of beads at home, then you should be using, like Merritt said, trying to use the beads that you have rather than acquiring.
No.
Because I don't, like, I have tons of stuff too, and I'm trying to use all my own stuff rather than buying new. So.
We were just saying that yesterday. We're at the store, and it's killing everyone right now because I'm like, I'm not open, and people see me in there. Yesterday alone, I had about 4 or 5 people try to come in and buy beads, and I'm like, I'm not, like, I can't sell it right now because I'm like, I'm gonna have nothing by the time I open.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So we were just talking about that. I was like, you can never have enough beads. Like, you always need more, you know, like, but yeah, people are poor. They're waiting.
Yeah, you start a new project, and when you get the material to match your beads or match the beads to material, and you're like, I thought I had this color, and no.
Sometimes it's just the shade or the finish. Yeah, it's different.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And I find, like, it's so dumb, and sometimes it is wasteful, I guess, in the sense, because sometimes I do have those beads, but if I'm at the store and I don't have access to them, but I get that inspiration. Yes, I do. I put it in because the inspiration calls for certain colors, and I need to see that right away. So I buy them, you know. And sometimes I get home and I'm like, great, I have like 4 tubes or 2 tubes at home.
Then we do a bead swap.
Somebody was just talking about that, to do that, like a material swap. Like,
material or beads?
Yeah.
No, but not like fabric material, but like all of our materials
Stuff
that we
that
use.
You will maybe have too much of. Like, you know, at the youth center, they do the no waste.
Yeah.
Oh,
like
yes,
that.
the
Like,
market. Yeah.
To do that at the shop. Like that. So many people, like, everyone had Miyukis because, not Miyukis, Delicas, because everyone used, like, say, I don't technically care for them that much anymore, but I know a lot of people who still use them for other projects, and it's like, what am I going to do with them if I'm just sitting on them? Like, what's the point?
Start adding them in. Them in. That's what I did with that last project. I added it in.
Oh my God, here we go.
Yeah. I donated all mine. Like, I literally got rid of them because I'm like, it was taking up so much space, and you know me, I'm crazy with like things I like order. So I'm like, I donated them, though. I gave them to people who were going to use them. Like, what am I going to do with it? Like, I'm not going to use it.
She's like, you're going to add them in.
Yeah. Put that shit on it. No? Okay. All right.
So what we're going to do is we have like lots of questions, but we're going to do rapid fire because we're already going on almost 2 hours. And I know we have another group of people who are coming in to use the studio. So I want to make sure that we get enough time just to close up and do these little quick rapid fire. So the rapid fire is basically you're just going to say one word. We're going to try to keep it at one word. Sometimes we don't owe people an explanation. We can choose not to answer or we can choose not to explain. So whatever the answer is, that's what it will be.
Yeah.
Got it, ladies?
Got it.
So we're going to, I'll probably just answer last just because I'll let you guys do the eye thing when you're looking at each other and who's going to go first. Sound good? Because I can't.
Are we
see
going in
anybody over
order
there.
or just jump right in?
Whoever's ready.
You guys will decide, yourselves, like, because you'll have that, like, you read each other's body language, like, I don't know if I can do this, and your face goes, like, weird or whatever. So, you can do that. Okay?
Okay.
Well, that's how it is, really, right? Okay.
Yeah.
So, now these are questions that might have been answered before, like 2 years ago or even last year, but it's always good. Sometimes people change, people are maybe in the perimenopause or menopause or all those kind of things.
What?
And sometimes it might change your answers. Okay. So the first question is, what is your favorite time of day?
Bedtime.
Bedtime.
Yeah, me too. I love it.
Maybe it's the morning. Okay. Do you bead for the wearer or viewer?
Wearer.
What?
Do you bead for, like,
Do
say
you
you're
bead
making
for the
moccasins?
wearer or the viewer? I bead for the wearer, which means that usually when you look at it, it's upside down.
Oh,
But I don't care about who's looking at it. I just want a person who's wearing it to look beautiful.
I guess I
don't care
wear
about males.
it for the viewer, I
Okay.
guess.
Mine is either or.
Okay. What size thread do you use or do you prefer?
I like the D thread, D size thread.
Yeah, yeah.
I like
D.
D.
I just okay. It's supposed to be one word. Eh?
Yeah.
That's okay, but that's good. Like, you want to talk, you can talk more. Let's see.
You want to talk about the D? Go
Well,
right
I was
ahead.
super excited because I just ordered off of Etsy and I got the Nymo
The
D,
D?
and I'm so excited
Awesome.
about it. And I'm
Excellent.
super excited about like waxing my thread. Before, sometimes I wouldn't do it all the time, and now I'm addicted to waxing my thread.
That's good.
Nymo D.
There we go.
D.
We're all
Margaret?
D's. D. Yep.
I like O sometimes. So
What's
I
that?
guess it
Super
depends on-
small?
No, double O is super
Is that a
small.
micro
I like
thread?
Double O double O is what I use for like my micro beads. O is good, but it depends on like how you want your beads to stay. Like depending if you want movement in your beads, you
Right.
can use a size O for 15, and it'll give a lot of movement. If you use a B, it gives a little bit of movement. If you use D, it might not give any movement.
Right,
If
which
you
is
use
good
A,
for
it's
some
good.
flowers, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
D.
Yeah,
Keep it tight.
yeah. So keep it tight. Exactly. Okay. Do you have a favorite item to bead?
For myself. No.
Okay,
When I'm-
that's a good answer. That's a good answer for yourself. Items for yourself. That's what your answer is.
Yep.
Okay, cool.
Actually, I'm lying
Yeah.
because I don't ever beat anything for myself. But like if I'm beating it to give it as a gift or something, when it's not an order or when I
Yeah.
don't need some cash, then that's the best.
Yeah. There's no
yeah,
pressure.
I like that idea too. When it's just something you want to do because it's nice. Yeah, for somebody else. That's what I like.
I'll have to agree with that one.
Yeah,
Mhm,
mine too.
mhm.
It's like the inspired
Yeah. Really?
shit.
What is your favorite cake flavor?
Chocolate.
Vanilla. Changed with age.
Like cake box, like out of the box. I don't know.
Anything, any kind of cake flavor.
I like all of them. Okay.
I like carrot cake.
Carrot cake.
Minus
Yeah.
with no raisin sometimes, but it's
No.
gotta be moist. It's gotta be some dry, stupid thing.
I don't know
Yeah.
about cake, but I like pecan boy.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
that's good. Okay. Do you take
Where did this
orders?
Yeah,
question come from?
that's random.
Do you take orders?
No.
No, not anymore.
I'm trying not to.
Yeah, I'm lying too.
I have a hard time saying no. And
That means hit her up. No.
no, don't hit me up. Don't hit me up, please.
It's a thing like when you feel like it, right?
When I feel like it, which is not really too often, like maybe
Mhm.
one order a year, like, I
Like
don't,
these moccasins.
yeah, I prefer not to do an order. I'd like to be able to bead what I want and then
Mhm.
do what I want with it. But sometimes it's too hard to say no. And I have
Mhm.
a few orders now. And
And me and Doug
Okay.
would joke about how, like sometimes people will catch you on a good day and you say yes.
and then
you're like, what the
then you
hell's
cave,
wrong with
and the
me?
next day it's like,
Yeah.
But also, it's nothing personal to the listeners. It has nothing to do with you and everything to do with us. It's like
Not you, it's me.
yeah.
It's me.
I'm sure we would all love to beat everybody.
Yeah.
That's why nobody really wants to take orders, right? At this age, we're saying no to orders because we've done a lot of orders already.
Yeah.
I might actually try to next year live off orders.
Good luck.
Yeah.
I might.
But then the
I've
thing,
already had people hit. Like I might realistically try to just not work and maybe do orders, maybe.
I like that idea because I'm kind of semi doing that right now.
Uh-huh.
But the thing with orders is there's a deadline, there's a specific, you have to do whatever you're doing, right? And if you're doing it like to live off of or to have that extra money, which is what I usually do, it's usually to support me and, stuff like that. So I find the orders get in the way because I want to bead whatever I want and I could just post it on Instagram and sell it. I know there's somebody that's going to want to buy it and I could just, like instead of doing a whole set, then it's going to take so long. It's going to take so long for me to get paid, when I could just do a pair of moccasins and a medallion or a ring or whatever. And I could get paid that same amount within 2 weeks instead of over a month. Technically, it takes me really long to get started with my orders. So sometimes I'd rather do that. That's why I'll bead little things and then I'll post them.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I find because I used to do that as well. Like that's kind of what I'm doing too. I do have the store, yes, but that doesn't generate all my money. Like it's my shit that I'm beading. But I find locking yourself into big orders, like
It takes more time.
Yeah, that's not something I recommend for people who want to, unless you have it where you're getting the money in advance, or if you're doing you still have to play around with certain things. But I find you lock yourself in for, say, it'll take you 3 or 4 months, then you're getting a payout.
Mm-hmm. When
because
you need that money
yesterday,
or,
So that's the only thing. I think it's doable to live off of your beading if you're doing smaller projects.
Yeah, you have to constantly have stuff. So that's where I find orders are getting in the way because I want to I want to make something once a week or every 2 weeks and have or have a few. It doesn't have to be a big thing if it's keychains or rings or whatever.
Something fun and something get out of your system almost.
And then like you said, the orders take up a lot more time and then you're not getting paid and you're not beading something else because you're beading an order.
Yeah.
So.
And it's sucking the life out of you,
Someday at retirement, we'll be all glad we have this. Because we can fall back on it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
When we can't see it and we're all arthritis in our fingers.
Oh, no.
If Gail Montour was able to do it, we can do it. Yeah.
Really? Okay.
She can, yes.
Well, I'm just thankful that I don't wear glasses and I don't need any right now because I couldn't imagine.
I'm like me.
When we get older, I was thinking how difficult it's going to be for us to bead probably. And we probably won't even be able to bead as fast as we do now or produce things as quick.
Like I said, we knew Gail Montour and she was our elder. And she had her hands, arthritis took over in her hands.
I wasn't fortunate enough to ever get to meet her, but I mean, I obviously heard about her and seems like... Yeah.
She was an inspiration.
Right? She inspired all of you, so it would have been nice.
Yeah. I'm so sad. It was only after she had passed that I learned that that's my mother's great aunt. That was my mother's grandfather's sister. And that story was different too, because my great grandfather had a whole family, which would have been my great grandmother, my whatever, somewhere up the line. But he had this whole family, and then his wife had passed, and then he remarried, and then he had in his 70s had Gail and her brother.
Oh my God!
Yeah, that's how it's. Gail would be my great aunt. Yeah. And it would be my She
told us a story about her brother who passed away on the Quebec Bridge.
Yeah.
And that he would have been he would have been 100 years old at that time.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was my great grandparent, my great grandmother's brother. Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. But yeah, I was really sad to find that out only after she had passed. I was I had never known any of that. And my mother knew, she just never, she would see her or whatever, and
relatives like anyone.
Yeah. And I can't say that on the Diabo side we're super close though. Like
Mhm.
Gail, she's on the Diabo side, like my Diabo side.
Mm.
Oh yeah, but yeah, I was like, oh, like I don't know, it would have been nice to.
To go sit and visit and talk with her and learn.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I don't even know what she looks like. Maybe you could post a picture on.
Honestly, I
beading
find there's
table.
so much.
I can't put a face. Like I obviously never spoke to her, or met her, or even seen her. I just only heard of her. So
I see such a resemblance with my mother and her, but there's a lot like there's a family picture and you see traces of all of them in like
Yeah,
everybody's face, like Donnie Gilbert, that would have been her great nephew too, like
Mm-hmm.
all of them, and you could see it, like it's the shape face, like I find she looks a lot like my auntie Evelyn, like they all have
Yeah.
their own look, but they're all a little bit different, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Yeah. So
So the next question is, do you have a favorite bead or fabric color?
favorite bead or fabric color, like
Hey,
velveteen.
let's skip that one. We're gonna do this one because I just got kind of down just a minute. So sorry about that, ladies. What do you spread on your toast?
Butter.
butter first.
Recently, I've been using avocados.
I try
I like
not to
butter.
even eat toast. It's a lot of carbs. I love it too. And we all love toast. I'll eat four
It's
of them.
bread. You gotta say bread. Bread.
No, bread's toast is
It's a step up from bread.
like I wouldn't just eat a bread, but I'll eat a toast
Like-
with a cheese. I
like-
do a cheese and a jam, and then I do not together, one on one,
Oh,
sweet and then salty.
Savory. Yeah.
Okay,
Oh,
a
okay.
game changer with grilled cheese. You have to go to 22 grain bread
Mm,
I'm
yes.
down for that.
and grilled cheese.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Has anybody ever tried apparently the best way to make a grilled cheese is if you use mayonnaise and not butter to grill it.
I see
No,
it, but I
no,
haven't
no, I
tried
haven't
it.
Supposed
tried
to make it really crispy.
A little
like
extra.
Really crunchy.
Well, this 22 grain, that's exactly what it does. It makes it nice and crispy on the outside. And
Yeah.
it's like
We
eating.
used to, when my grandmother was still alive, that was our go-to meal, me and her. I'd be like,
Mhm.
Mama, you want like a grilled cheese and we'll make a tomato soup. That's what we
ravioli,
always
yeah.
have it together. Oh, but my mother and my grandmother used to only buy like 100 seed or
Yeah,
grain.
yeah.
I was like, oh, at first I didn't like it, but then I was like, oh shit, there's like that extra like
Yeah.
shit in it.
you
So
fold your laundry right away.
no.
So I'm very spoiled, especially when Dustin's home. I come home almost every other day and he has all the laundry done, folded, and put on the bed
Oh my
Waiting for Amanda.
God.
to put away. Yeah, I'm
Mine's
really
actually-
spoiled right now.
Still on the couch there in the basket.
Mine is like dirty secret. My laundry room always looks like a goddamn dump. And it's just because we all don't get to it. And there's 4 of us, and which is not an excuse because there could be a million. But none of us do it. So it could be clean, but there's like a mountain of it in the laundry room on the floor all the time.
I'll have to send you guys a picture.
I thought you were gonna say send us Dustin.
Yeah, send them over.
Salty or sweet?
Sweet.
Salty.
Both.
Salty then sweet.
Yeah.
Or
Oh.
actually you have something sweet and then salt. I was already like the jam and the cheese. Same
Yeah.
thing.
You need balance.
You need balance. I think salty and sweet as well. And the last question: any advice or beading Yoda wisdom to share with our listeners? Anybody?
Yoda.
Don't be scared
Yoda.
to try your own patterns, templates,
Mm.
designs, because that's the only way that you're gonna get better is doing it on your own.
Yeah.
Mhm, mhm.
And that's probably the best advice
Yeah.
because nobody can do it for you. You could ask an experienced beater what to do, and they're gonna tell you. It's kind of like it's not helping you. You got to do it your own.
For me, I would have to say everyone does it, but try not to let it like steer your direction. But when you compare your stuff to everybody else's all the
Oh.
time, and it's fine. That's okay to do because that's how you grow. That's how you get inspirations. You change up your stuff. But I have been in that space where I have seen other people's stuff to the point where I'm like, my stuff sucks because it doesn't look like that. And then I don't want to do anything, so you kill your own vibe after that. So
Mhm.
don't compare or try not to, or don't let it limit you,
Don't be afraid to go out of the box.
do your own
Do your
thing.
own thing, experiment, and all you can do is cut it off if you don't like it.
Or throw it in the trash.
Cut it off and videotape yourself on Facebook. Because that's what I did.
What did you say?
Cut your work off and video it and show it off.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You change this shit up.
Yeah.
Rip it out. Everyone knows.
You videotape yourself cutting it?
I videotaped it.
Oh, I'm going to have to go search. It's like, yeah, you like this? You think it's good? I don't.
No, I don't know. I think I have one post. I don't know where it's at.
It was just a few months ago. No, didn't you just do one?
I don't know. I'd have to go look back. But yeah.
So everyone who's listening, if you've ever taken a class by merit, everyone jokes about it, that if you don't like it, if it doesn't look the way you want it, or you're not sure, rip that shit out. She would always tell everyone, cut it out. Just cut it and change it, fix it, get it, do it the right way the first time.
Yeah.
I mean, or whatever, you know what I mean?
And if you didn't cut it off yourself, I took my scissors
she would
and
go
I
and
cut it off for you.
Yeah. Cut it out or rip it off. Yeah. And don't be afraid to change it up. Like, it's astonishing how many times I have given classes where people are like, well, I did all this work and I'm not taking it off.
Mm-hmm.
But they hate it. They don't like it. So I'm like, but why would you keep that if that's not what you like?
You're just settling.
Yeah, don't settle.
Yeah.
Like, you want your stuff to look nice. You want to feel proud of what you're doing. Then you got
no regrets. Have no regrets at the end. Like you said, they don't even like it themselves and they keep it. Like, why?
Yeah. Change it and do what you want to do.
And if you take a class, be patient and go with the class. Don't go on your own and come back to class and say, oh, I don't care for it. No, be patient and go with what the teacher tells you to do. Because otherwise you're not learning. You're just doing what you know already. At the end of the class, when you're done, you did your own piece, but you
did your own piece.
You did your own piece. You didn't learn from the teacher.
Yeah.
Which is a waste.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, ladies, that was a very successful beading table conversation. I'm so glad that everyone was able to come in on the icy conditions of Kahnawa'kehro and the foggy conditions over here. Anybody have any final words?
I just want to say thanks for having me on. I'm all pumped up to go sew up another pair of moccasins with a 3-inch whatever seam space.
3-inch challenge.
The 3-inch challenge. So now for having me on.
Yeah, I think I'll go home and hop onto my cuffs, see where I can go with them.
I'm gonna go to bed. No.
I also had one more question, which is what I was always wondering about, maybe for the next show or if somebody knows. I always wondered who the beadwork artist was, or if there's probably multiple, but who they are that actually bead the graduation picture frames here from.
Oh yeah.
When you graduate from Kahnawa'kehro or Iorì, you know, the little
I don't know
grad,
who it is.
What the year? Because those everyone has one of those. So does anyone know who the artist is of that?
My only guess would be, I want to say Vicky from Wolf's Den, but I can't be sure. But Wolf's Den used to have some that were very similar, same size almost, and she was the main producer of them. But I don't know. Like, this is only a guess. That's who I think.
I've ever seen them. I know one year we did some for Indian Way School. There was a crew of us that did it. And then I almost want to say, did Robin have a hand in doing that? Because didn't they used to have those beading sessions in schools? What were they called? With the kids? There was a name for it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I know what you mean.
I don't know if that was.
I don't know if they did them, though.
But just like any house you go into at Kahnawa'kehro, you're going to see one of those.
Yeah.
And it always has
you
a year
haven't
on
seen
it,
one?
usually.
No, I never saw one.
On it
yeah, they do a year. So every year they're busting them out, and they have to supply both of the schools. So they're
just little,
really good
they're
job.
like tiny little.
Yeah, I don't know who it is either. My son has one actually. When he graduated from Kahnawa'kehro school, he got one too. And I think I just saw one recently somewhere. But no, I don't know who makes them. So anybody knows out there in Kahnawa'kehro who makes those beaded picture frames that all the graduates from the elementary schools, the KUC graduation classes anyway.
Yeah.
Let us know, because it'd be interesting to see who it is, because I have no idea.
Yeah, because that's a consistent thing. Like, how many years you think?
Forever. I think I had one.
My grad. My kids have one. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
be interesting too, unless it's somebody
their kids are gonna have
different.
one of those too.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Yeah.
That's a big order to take on, a big
No.
responsibility.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Because you
maybe
see some of the
post a
class, there's
picture.
30 and 40 graduates.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're kind of simple, but it just, they never changed over all the
40
years.
years.
They're
Really?
all the same. Like,
Never saw them.
oh my God.
Consistent,
I'm
yeah.
going to send you a picture.
Okay.
Or maybe I'll post it or.
Alrighty, so we will wrap
So
it
that-
up.
So everybody, I hope everyone has a good rest of the day or evening, depending on when you're listening. And again, I'll go out to everyone who is in studio and to our producer. And we are kicking off the 3rd season of the Beading Table. So get ready for what's coming next month. Who knows what that will be, but it's always
Oh.
interesting.
I want to recommend a
Oh.
guest. I wonder if you could get Gugwi
Yes.
Dene on here. I know she's not always is in town, but if you could
Maybe she could
try to
call
hook
in
up
too.
with her and see when she's available,
Oh, that's a good
because
idea.
I
I'll
think
write that
she
down.
would be an awesome guest to have on the show.
Yeah, call her in.
You write that down.
Calling you out, Gugwi Dene.
Alrighty, so we have people, I think, waiting. So
Yeah.
we're going to wrap it up.
So now
Oh.
we'll go, everybody, and Onigiwahi.
Ona!
The views and opinions of the guests expressed in this podcast do not reflect those of Iorì and its employees.